why it is so dangerous, this memo by Tom Blanche. He specifically says in there that, quote, colleges and universities cannot accept federal funds while discriminating against their students. Again, he's using this DEI policy, claiming it is a discrimination against their students, despite the fact that universities sees it as the opposite, overcoming discrimination of their universities. We've already seen so many lawyers quitting the Civil Rights Division because of earlier statements of how they were going to be used. Whether or not we are going to see continued resignations, we will see. But this is specifically what he says in his memo when he is instructing his lawyers. It says that he is starting a civil rights fraud initiative, again, against the universities. This initiative will utilize the False Claims Act to investigate and, as appropriate, pursue claims against any recipient of federal funds that knowingly violates federal civil rights laws. As we know, these universities, I think, pretty much all receive federal funds for one thing or another. This initiative will be co-led by the Civil Division's Fraud Section, which enforces the False Claims Act, and the Civil Rights Division, which enforces the civil rights laws. Each division will identify a team of attorneys to aggressively pursue this work together. Each of the 93 United States attorneys' offices will identify an assistant United States attorney to advance these efforts. He is asking for a nationwide assault on our university, a nationwide assault. This is a major escalation of the assault against our universities, a major escalation here. And he says in this memo that he is not only prepared to use civil litigation, he says that he will also engage with the criminal division. So threatening there and threatening that these universities may not only have to face the onerous task of hiring attorneys and justifying language that they have in policies, teachings that they do in their classroom, but also now they may be criminally prosecuted. We're talking about people who went into academia, teachers, people who want to try to teach our next generation of professionals, of leaders, of people participating in our society one way or another, now being subjected perhaps to criminal prosecution at the same time. And he says here that he will establish partnerships with, quote, state attorneys general and local law enforcement to share information and coordinate enforcement actions. This is where we're at, where we have the number 2 Deputy United States Attorney General threatening criminal action, threatening to use local law enforcement to go after our universities because Project 2025 sees them as an obstacle for their Christian white nationalist movement. When you scare people in academia so much to be able to talk about certain groups, to teach about certain history, to admit and hire people of a certain color, this is how you make those groups invisible. This is how you make them powerless. And you do this when you have the power of the federal government behind you. You have the civil rights, you have the criminal rights. We will see whether or not attorneys in those divisions are willing to undertake and follow through with this memo. And we will certainly see litigation by the universities, whether or not this is even going to stand. So much of the language in a lot of their classrooms and grants can definitely be considered First Amendment rights and have legal protection in other ways, such as probably due process, if they've already written the grant and received the grant. But the fact is, because what they're going after is so broad and so vague, there will be some litigation involved in this. And lawyers, as we've seen, that is the one thing we have seen the justice system do a good job at pausing, delaying enforcement of a lot of these things. But the sad reality is that universities are already being cut. Our science research is already being cut. People not knowing what is it safe to talk about or not talk about, now being subjected to this memo with further threats of civil and now criminal prosecution, ratcheting up the attack on our universities, which we see as a place where we have critical thinking and we're teaching the next generation. My name is Dina Dahl with the Midas Touch Network. We will be sure to break down this and all of the other developments. So if you haven't subscribed yet, free subscribe so you will not miss any of our hot takes.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.